Happy Monday, everybody. Okay, so I'm going to piggyback on Greg's report, and but we're going to dig into the jobs report. It just came out. Now, this is a government issued report, and guess what? 30 days before the election, when the current administration is being hammered because the economy is not looking good, well, guess what? Jobs are on the upswing. The jobs report came out looking better than everybody expected, which it's kind of complicated now because now the Fed was expected to be lowering rates again. And now this complicates the issue. This always happens that we never know exactly what the Fed's going to be doing, right? They like to keep a lot of secrets in their back pocket. And so this job report makes it a little more complicated of an equation. But now let's look at the job report itself, because Greg and I look at this and we're like, that doesn't really make sense. But let's look at the numbers. So you start digging into the numbers. Guess what the biggest category of job growth was? Government jobs. Now, this isn't to take away from government jobs. We need hardworking, honest, qualified individuals working in our government. They serve the public, right? So that's great. But when you see, hey, everything's looking up because government jobs are on the upswing, that doesn't mean you've got a strong economy, right? If that was the case, then the USSR never would have fallen because all of those jobs were government jobs, right? But government jobs can't support the economy. Sure, they get paychecks and then they spend it. But like what Greg was talking about, you keep growing the economy and it starts pushing out the public sector. The public sector, the private sector. The private sector really is where the economy gets going, and we're not seeing that. So then I found another test, which I think is even better than the jobs report. So this was on my Twitter feed, and it comes from Jeffrey Goodlock, he's kind of replaced Bill Gross as the bond king. He's an economist, specializes in bonds, but he talks about the economy a lot. Here's his report that I thought was fascinating, and I'm going to read it just word for word as he tweeted it, or X'd it, I guess. He said, "One way to know the economy is not working for middle class families is Hamburger Helper. It's making a comeback. Hamburger Helper was introduced when I was a kid to stretch a half pound of ground beef to feed a family of 5. I just saw a Hamburger Helper ad." Now, I personally love Hamburger Helper, but I think that's a great observation. Hamburger Helper was really big in the 70s and the early 80s as families were trying to make their grocery bill last even longer, right? And so that also explains why, if you've been watching your investments with us, if you have your investments with us, you've seen the food category go up in your investment returns. Well, this goes to that. Now, and Hamburger Helper doesn't mean that your food category isn't going to keep climbing. It means that beef is climbing so much so that other products are also going up. And we're invested in wheat and corn and all the good stuff that goes into Hamburger Helper. And then whatever magic they mix it all up with, we're investing in that too. But let's just say that I think Jeffrey Goodlock's analysis is actually more accurate than the Fed's job reports. And with that, you all have a great week. See you next Monday. Bye-bye.